Well, it was on November 5th, 2022 that Oak Ridge defeated St. Francis 3-1 in the Sac Joaquin section finals in Sacramento. Now, this is one of the best rivalries in the Sacramento area or the entire state for volleyball, and we're going to get it for the opening game of the season for the Trojans. Not absolutely. For the Troubadours, however. They're already 3-2 with wins over Roseville, Cordova, Del Oro, and losses against Folsom and Oak Ridge. Welcome, everybody. I'm Chris Maffio, joined by my color analyst and good friend, Brian Sanjorza.
Hello, everybody.
Brian, what are you looking to see here tonight from both teams, or especially Oak Ridge, as this is their first game of the season, looking to settle things in?
I'm looking to see Oak Ridge come with a sense of urgency and really come with the desire this season to establish themselves as one of the biggest competitors in the league and in the state, because as in years past, the Trojans have had very, very successful years, and we are expecting nothing less.
A lot of leaving seniors, but Oak Ridge has shown they're a factory for volleyball. Here's Town for the first serve. Low over the net. That one not quite handled properly by Caroline Foraker.
Town can come in with that strong serve that St. Francis have to watch out for.
So Oak Ridge trying to prove that they don't really care about their seniors. They lost last year. They have a lot of good juniors stepping up who are huge pieces on last year's team, including number 7, Elle Weaver, Brown volleyball commit. Keep an eye on her. That one just gets over the net and falls down. No Troubadour was expecting that.
Oak Ridge getting off to a strong start, I see. It's
Towns,
exactly what they needed.
Yeah. Town's been their serving ace for her entire tenure on this team. Current junior has been here on varsity since she was a freshman. We have a whistle. Point goes to Oak Ridge.
Town has established herself as Oak Ridge's go-to server. If Trojans ever need a powerful serve to get them back into the game, they can always rely on her.
Little lofting over the net, and it falls too. Town has the Troubadours fooled. Jackie Smith was not able to cover up enough ground to get there. Trojans up 4-0 early, but in volleyball it does not really matter. They say it's a game of runs, just like basketball, and so much can change. Absolutely. Bad serve, errant pass like that could result in an easy 4-0 run for the Troubadours of their own.
But going back to what you were saying, any game of volleyball can change. the momentum can change from one play, so you can't always rely on the high.
Here's Kelsey Magley serving. Best server for the Troubadours as well. There's Weaver. Town bumps. This one flicked it right back over the net. Caroline Foraker with the rejection.
It was a great possession there from St. Francis. They were making the Trojans know that they're not going to walk all over them tonight. This is going to be a close affair, I'd say.
Magley's serve, bumped by Weaver. This one just tipped over the net by Riley Elliott, trying to set her up. There's Fagundes. It was a little hard to hit there, just right over the top of the net, no man's land. Riley Elliott set up again. It's tipped and it falls. Point for Oak Ridge.
What a great strike there to the top right of the court. That was incredible.
So like we said, this is a rematch of the Sac Joaquin section finals last year on November 5th. Oak Ridge won the set 3-1, or they won the game 3 sets to 1. Oak Ridge last year 32-5, but they lost to Archbishop Mitty in the regional semifinals, 2 games away from being state champions.
That's the thing about the Trojans. The Trojans are always knocking on the door for a title, for a state championship, for anything. They're always there, and they're always there to compete, and they're always very formidable.
More interesting, you go back a year before, and Oak Ridge was 1 game away from the state championship, losing here at home. But St. Francis last year was 23-9.
So both teams coming off a pretty strong year.
Well, consistent volleyball schools, they just breed talent.
Absolutely. From these two schools, you can always hope for incredible volleyball players.
Try to get Reiser involved, and it works. Point for Oak Ridge. Here's Fagundes to serve. Her and Town serve become a deadly duo serving the ball.
Absolutely.
Kate Fagundes with 51 total serving aces last year. She's the libero.
Fagundes, ever since her freshman year, has been a rock in this Oak Ridge attack. She's always been there for the Trojans and still shows up.
Jackie Smith not able to bump that ball correctly and get it to a teammate. Maybe went off her arm at a wrong angle.
Yeah, probably just bad luck.
What happens? That ball low into the net. And I've always said, when you have serves like that, if you're St. Francis, you'd look at that and you say, this is an opportunity for us to get a run going of our own. Self-inflicted errors for Oak Ridge, obviously a much bigger part later in the game. But now it's something that they should take note of.
Absolutely. It's something that St. Francis should absolutely capitalize on.
Smith serve, handled by Weaver. Town setting up Horning. Little flick over the net. Magley throws it down. Or that was Foraker. What a hit.
Foraker.
Thundering hit right there.
Foraker with the absolute rocket. They have to watch out for those spikes every now and then, because that could play a huge part in swinging the momentum in St. Francis's way.
Foraker standing all the way at 6'2", tallest one on the team.
She's absolutely one to watch.
The serve, there's Weaver again. Town keeping it there. Same play as last time, but just Horning tipping it over the net. This ball goes out of bounds. It was touched by a Trojan last, so the point goes to St. Francis. That might have just been tipped by someone on Oak Ridge.
But it looks like the early lead that the Trojans had has been erased completely.
It did, but you could kind of tell that ball's trajectory was affected by something. Had to have been a player.
Had to have been, yeah.
Got to comment on how this crowd looks. Usually for a volleyball game here in August, it's not going to look this packed here.
Yeah.
Usually once you get later into the season, into the playoffs, you get really big draws.
Oh, absolutely.
To see the Trojans in the playoffs. But first game of the year, getting this type of crowd is testament to how good this volleyball program is from both teams.
Absolutely. It shows the reputations each school has built in volleyball.
Ball goes off of Weaver's arms incorrectly. Goes out of bounds.
Looks like that was a little too hot to handle there for the Trojans.
And so far, it's early in the game. Only 9-7 of the first set, but we have not really seen that many rallies like we do with two great teams like this. Mainly their own undoing.
Yeah, it's surprising. Usually these teams are right at one another.
Rejected again, but Towns there to save it. Riley Elliott gets rejected right at the net. That one goes down. Point for St. Francis.
Looks like St. Francis is getting some momentum in their way. They're taking a little bit of the Trojans' momentum from the beginning of the first set.
10-3 run for the Troubadours since Oakridge started off 4-0 with Towns. Great serves there. Weaver tips it across. Foraker with another tip. Hosseini throws it down, puts it right there.
Great shot there by Hosseini. She did exactly what the Trojans needed. The Trojans needed a break in the in St. Francis's momentum to get the serve back on their side, and now that they have this lead could change.
Here's Callie Larson to serve. Was great last year serving. And that one tipped out too much on that ball right there.
But the Trojans do have a plethora of amazing servers that they can always rely on, which is a strength that you always want to have, especially as a top-tier volleyball program.
Foraker throws it down. It tipped off of Lizzie Horning and Ariana Hosseini, but it went out of bounds. Last touch by Oakridge, point for St. Francis.
But the Trojans have to watch out for Foraker. A spike like that with so much aggression can really swing everything towards St. Francis.
So here's Foraker, has a thundering arm. Towns setting up Horning. St. Francis is there.
Looks like the Trojans are having troubles defending those those massive spikes at the net.
Yeah, they've been struggling trying to defend those. They've been trying to create rejections there on those massive spikes, but what happens is they end up not falling on the St. Francis side, but they fall on the Oakridge side. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Absolutely.
That point went to Oakridge. No one went to St. Francis. No one really covered it there, and it went out of bounds. Not expecting that. Town tips it over, and too much ground for Natalie Sandoval to make up.
Town with a nice little hit over. It made it very difficult for St. Francis to hit that back.
Hosseini will serve. And Jackie Smith did not quite have the angle there and fell really low to the floor, and then it wasn't able to get it up high enough for anyone to serve, for anyone to hit it back over.
If the Trojans can keep the serving on their side, I believe that they could do some damage.
Like we've said, not many rallies here. It's just been quick one and dones from each side. That one hitting the roof. Horning with an excellent save, but the point goes to St. Francis. That low roof is something to keep note of. It's what Oakridge's gym is known for, having that low roof. But you'd think Oakridge, they play here, they practice here. They know the advantage. They know how that ball moves off the roof.
Yeah, it can be an advantage, but also a disadvantage. Like we just saw there, it could always bite them in the end.
Weaver, big hit. That one sent back. St. Francis did not have that much time to regroup, but they covered that one well. Town setting up Weaver. Jackie Smith saves it right at her chest there. And now we got a rally going.
Now we
Town
got a
with
rally.
an excellent toss over the net. Horning's there for the block. That one would have fallen. And Larson, off of her arm, goes out of bounds. Point for St. Francis.
What a rally we just saw there.
We have not really seen that much tonight so far, but
that was a great first one to have.
That just showcases how good these two schools are at volleyball in their rivalry.
Absolute
What's it gonna look
powerhouses.
like? This one, just out of bounds. That looked like it might have hit the line, but it might have been in bounds. From where I was, that looked like it was in bounds, but they give the point to Oak Ridge. And here's Jess Ortiz to serve. First time seeing serving action tonight for her. Workers there, and Smith sends it back over the net. Towns setting up Weaver. That's a connection you got to get used to. And it's just on the corner. Point for Oak Ridge.
Ooh. What a close shot there. Luckily for the Trojans, it was right where it needed to be.
Well, this team has been coached by Coach Trevin Morgan for Oak Ridge. They've been known for attacking the edges, attacking the corners, putting it into awkward positions where it might be hard for the other team to get to, especially the edges, the corners. And that's what this Trojan brand of volleyball is. And you saw that right there with that hit from Weaver.
Absolutely. And with that speciality, the Trojans are, if they can be consistent with that brand of volleyball, they could be unstoppable. Which they
Server
have proven in years.
is Ellie Carpenter, the junior. 16-13 in the first set. So this one, pretty good chance it comes down to the wire. Weaver's ball gets tipped at the net, stays on the St. Francis side. Foraker hits it too far to the right, out of bounds. Trojan point.
This is a very back and forth game thus far. 16-14, and they're just trading shots.
Trojans had that 4-0 run in the beginning, and St. Francis kind of came back from it to make it where it is now. But it's been close. Trojans have been staying in there. Weaver sends it over. St. Francis is there. This one, way too much on that. That's Lana Eziani.
Looks like Eziani put a little too much on that one right there.
A lot. You saw those players who were saying, don't hit it.
Sometimes you just got to follow your instinct. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Foraker tries with the spike, but it goes into the net. And brings this game back to 16 apiece in the first set.
Trojans have also mounted a little comeback themselves.
Yeah, a little comeback there. They were down as much as 4 at one point. But, like we said, volleyball is a game of runs. It changes so fast.
Absolutely.
Little tip. Looks like a fake there.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Weaver there sending it over where nobody was. And we're not expecting that. Or they give the point to St. Francis. It might have been a double touch there.
I think that's what it was.
And I think that's what it was. It looked like they were trying to fake someone out there. And Weaver might have touched it twice.
Those fakes can sometimes bite you back.
Yeah, if this set ends up being... Or if... Can't win a set by 1 point, but...
That's right.
Foraker's hit. Fagundes isn't able to get there in time.
From what I've seen thus far, the St. Francis, they love their spikes. They love absolutely hitting in rockets to put pressure on the Trojans.
Ooh, what a save there by Fagundes. Great game awareness there. Can't quite get to that one, however. That one was tipped right back over, and it looked like it was going to fall, but Fagundes just came out of nowhere to save it.
San Francisco looks like they're getting a little bit of a run. Not what the Trojans wanted.
Up 3, you're 6 away from winning, and that one goes out of bounds, so Trojans with a chance now to get things back on track. Once you get to the 20-point mark is when you realize, oh, we might lose, we might win.
Yeah, once it gets to the 20s, it starts getting, the pressure starts increasing a little bit on all the players.
20th point, I've always said, is pretty big. Weaver serving there. And a point for Oak Ridge. 2 touches there. Here's Weaver to serve, trying to equalize it here. Late in the first set. Tie game. Great game so far, back and forth. Hosseini tipping it over. But Magley's there. So Riley Elliott, Magley's there again with the defense. And way too much on that one. Point for Oak Ridge, equalizes this game at 19.
The Trojans just do not give up.
They
do
just
not
don't.
let up.
When there's a situation looking like they might fall behind or give up insurmountable lead to come back from in the first set. Just come back. And again, it's the first set, so it's not really too important, but getting it here.
But it's always nice to get the first one under your belt, so you don't have to work from behind.
Hosseini able to put it right where no one could get it. Ellie Carpenter
giving the
a
Trojans
lot of ground
the
to
lead.
make up. Put it in no man's land right there. And Trojans take the lead 20-19. And we have a timeout. We'll be back after this short break. We're back after that short 1-minute break. Timeout from St. Francis. Oak Ridge looking to close this one out. 5 points away from a set 1 win in a game that they would really like to take. And it's a great team in St. Francis.
Absolutely. Getting this first set over a team like St. Francis would be big for the Trojans. It alleviates a little bit of the pressure of going against such a big opponent your first game of the season.
And these are best of 5 series or sets that determine the game. Foraker's hit. Weaver not quite able to get there. Ties the set at 20 apiece. Both these crowds are really loud. You can tell the rivalry.
Yeah.
Just the energy.
Absolutely. I always love these big rivalries as it brings so much energy and it just makes the atmosphere that much better.
This game tied at 20. Veronica Dahlweiler will serve. Senior on the St. Francis team. I gotta ask Brian, do you know what a troubadour is?
I do not know.
I do not know
Do
either.
you?
That's a question for Google.
Yeah,
but
I guess it's a question for Google.
I guess you could probably ask about 5 people if they know what a troubadour is, and they would all say, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what a is. A troubadour, I have no idea.
Hosseini able to throw it down right there. Such a fast hit with such a vertical slope that no one was able to get there. It was almost vertical line straight to the ground.
Very powerful spike there. They gave St. Francis no chance to return it.
Here's Fagundes, four points away from closing out set 1. One of their serving aces. Dahlweiler sets up Foraker. And Weaver, little blunder there where she didn't see it, but it's a point for St. Francis.
Must have just been some miscommunication between the Trojan line there.
Here's Jackie Smith, serving ace for St. Francis there. Off the roof, could help Oak Ridge here. Zeph sends it across. Setting up Hosseini, gets rejected. Horning's there for the save. There's no whistle there. Weaver gonna have to send it back. Ooh, just on the line. It's a point for St. Francis. That one was just there on that line. They say if it touches the line, it's in. So
that was on the absolute borderline.
I like that play there from St. Francis. They fake it to Zeph, and then they have Foraker throw it down. We'll be back after this break. 22-21 in the first set. So we're back after that short break. Oak Ridge called timeout, trying to reassess things because you're 3 points away from losing the set, but on the other hand, you're 4 points away from winning it. So
absolutely, it could go either way at this point. With two teams like this, it could go either way.
And also, it's really important to note that you must win a set by 2 points. So it can't be 25-24. You must win at least 25-23. Troubadours well on their way to doing so. 23-21. For Oak Ridge right now, you need to get this back right now and then go on a run of your own because
Oak Ridge cannot afford a 24-21 deficit right now.
Use Jackie Smith to send it away. Trying to secure set 1 for the Troubadours. Fagundes falls down, but defends it well. This one sent over by Hornet. And Weaver not able to get there in time.
This is not a good situation to be if you're a Trojan.
One point away from St. Francis from taking set 1. Getting off to a 1-0 set lead here. Best of 5. Need 2 more. For Oak Ridge, you lose here, it's not the end of the world. Weaver able to get there in time. Fagundes, what a save, sending it back. And Smith probably could have let that one go out of bounds. Foraker sends it back over. Town sets up Hosseini. It's tipped, and they keep this one alive. They cannot. That would have been an incredible play by St. Francis.
Absolutely.
St. Francis had they kept that one alive, but already exceeded 3 touches, so.
But Fagundes had an absolutely incredible save there to keep the
Larson,
Trojans alive.
you need to score here. You don't score here, you lose set 1. So if you get a point here, at least you can fall back on, or you need 2 points to fall back on the cushion of needing to win a set by 2, but they're just able to keep that one alive. But Natalie Sandoval did not have the balance to be able to hit that one over. Just trying to regain that one after it went out of bounds. Such an awkward position to try to send it back over.
Looks
and
like
you
the
need to
Trojans,
score here for Oak Ridge.
the Trojans are putting up a comeback of themselves. They are not backing up.
Down to their last gas for set 1. Hit right into the net by Sandoval. And this is getting interesting again.
This is. Now first 26 wins the set.
So you need to score 2 here for Oak Ridge in a row. And we have a timeout from St. Francis. We'll be back after they reassess things as we get time in set 1. Oh, this is getting real interesting here. 24-24 in the first set.
I'm getting excited watching this.
St. Francis was 1 point away from ending this first set. Oak Ridge gets it back, 3 straight points. Now they're 2 away from winning this set. And you need to win this by 2, so it's not next point wins. Foraker sends it over. Town saves it. Larson sets up Ossini, tips in. No one was there. Put it in no man's land. Trojans 1 point away from taking set 1.
The Trojans are 1 point away from coming back from a 3-point deficit while St. Francis had 3 to go.
1 point away from scoring 6 straight to win set 1. So Larson sends it away with the intent of doing so. This one rejected!
Oh!
Goes off of the net.
Trojans clinch
Falls
set 1.
comfortably in no man's land, and the Trojans take set 1. 26-24. What a set. We're hoping the rest of the game's like this, because this is crazy, showing off this rivalry between the two schools, and we'll be back for set 2. We're back for set 2 action here. The Trojans took a thrilling set 1. Down to their last gasp, it was 24-21 St. Francis, 1 point away from winning it. With the ball, they gave it away to Oak Ridge, and Callie Larson, 5 straight flawless points there, great serves, gives Oak Ridge the first set. They steal set 1, take a 1-0 lead here.
Callie Larson came in the absolute clutch for the Trojans. She came in exactly when they needed her.
Well, maybe set 2 will be as entertaining as the last one. That'd be hard to beat.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
That was very entertaining.
This has all the writings for being a 5-setter, going all the way to 5 sets where it's a best of 15 rather than best of 20 or first of 25. And to answer a question we had in the first set, what is a troubadour? A troubadour is a French medieval lyric poet composing and singing in the Provençal in the 11th to 13th centuries, especially in the theme of courtly love.
That's very interesting.
Sure, not that many people could just pull that out of their pocket and say, I know what a troubadour is.
Yeah, that
Most
has a lot of
famously
heat.
known for being mentioned in the song Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones.
That's very interesting that that's the mascot for St. Francis.
So here's Jackie Smith to serve, starting the second set for St. Francis. Smith was on that serving run in the first set, putting St. Francis in a position where they were one away from taking set one. Had a great run, lost it on a volley there. Lost it on a rally, I mean.
Yeah,
And
St. Francis needs to bounce back from that little
for
hurdle.
set two, that one's touched twice, and it's a point for St. Francis to start this. I don't know, Brian, does the gym seem a lot more empty to you now that set two has started?
It does a little bit. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Who's going to tell the fans that that's not the whole game?
Yeah, who's gonna tell them that there's like more?
Town trying to just flick it up, but it not enough height on it, and it falls down on the Trojan side of the court.
Oh,
That ball, I guess, looks like Trojans touched the net, which results in a point for the other team.
it almost looked like they touched the ball at the same time. I don't know.
St. Francis letting them know you can't do that, like they don't know already. But an early 3-0 run for St. Francis. Basuni throws it down and way too much ground for anyone on the St. Francis team to make up. First point of the set for Oak Ridge.
Great hit there by the Trojans. Made it very hard for St. Francis to return that.
And it's still really early in this set, but I've said if you're Oak Ridge, set two is the most important for both teams because Oak Ridge win this, it's 2-0. You got a reverse sweep to come back from it. St. Francis wins, it's 1-1, it's a whole new ball game.
Absolutely, this is a very vital set in the long run.
This is must win for St. Francis.
Yeah. If St. Francis don't pull this out, then it's going to be very tough to come back.
Yep, looking dire if they can't get this set two, but they're set one. That just shows how good those teams are. It's a toss-up right there. So set two honestly could go either way.
Yeah.
These teams are very equal. That one speaker up in the ceiling is just waiting to mess up the trajectory of a hit.
Yeah.
And
that one speaker is it's not in the right place.
that's one of those things I assume the Trojans are used to because they practice here. They know what they're doing. How to avoid hitting it and what to do if it does get hit.
It also affects St. Francis as there's two on each side of the court.
You see all those dents in the ceiling, though. That's from volleyball.
Yeah.
That point goes to Oak Ridge as looks like a troubadour touched the net. Or touched it last, going out of bounds. I'm certain that one of those dents in the ceiling tiles is from me playing wiffle ball in sophomore year PE. Hit that ball so hard.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Pushed
those
in
PE
a roof
days.
tile.
Oh, yeah. Those PE days where you used to want to beat all your friends and you would absolutely launch into the roof.
Here's Weaver to serve. Dotweiler hit it awkwardly, and it goes the other way. Point for Oak Ridge.
Weaver once again establishing herself as one of the Trojans' top servers. If you'd want anyone serving for the match point, you probably want Weaver.
Weaver's obviously known for her big arm, big hitter. 3.6 kills per set last year, so able to just throw it down over the net. Ooh, that really
Makes a
let
lot of
slap
sense.
off the ball.
Makes a lot of sense
This
for
one
a
rejected
Brockman.
at the net. It's Riley Elliott and Cameron Reiser there with the rejection, and it falls down. It's a point for Oak Ridge. Weaver sends it across. Sets up Foraker. That one just goes right over the net, and those hits that hit the top of the net are so difficult because to Oak Ridge it appears that it's gonna go out of bounds or not go across the net at all.
Yeah, they're always
just goes over, catches them off guard.
Always very unpredictable. You always have to be ready for anything when a situation like that happens, because the net can just take it anywhere.
And that's what you probably work on as a server, making sure you hit the net and get it on the correct angle so that it goes right over. How to become unstoppable.
Absolutely, got to work to all of your advantages.
Elliott just flips it over. Ooh, big hit there from Zepp off the fist of Fagundes. Went off her fist at like a 30-degree angle. Not able to get it up high enough to send it back or start a rally.
Yeah, Fagundes wasn't able to catch that just right.
Another low hit. Fagundes has to go low to get. Just messy play right there, looking like pinball right there. Not able to get the ball across the net. Well, for Oak Ridge, 3 hits there as we take a break. It's a timeout for Oak Ridge. Eight to 4 lead in set 2 for the St. Francis Troubadours over the Oak Ridge Trojans. Heated rivalry. It'll be Sophia Van Ness serving for St. Francis.
And I've been seeing the St. Francis student section get quite rowdy and establish their presence in this arena.
That's what you like to see in a rivalry game like this, coming all the way to El Dorado Hills from Sacramento and just making themselves known.
Absolutely.
A little cocky with some of the stuff they've said, but
it's okay.
St. Francis wins, it pays off. I'm sure Oak Ridge would do the same at St. Francis.
I agree.
What a job there by Elliott, just trying to serve it over the net. Like, she's just handing it to them, but it doesn't quite work out there.
All the Trojans are diving around, giving it their all. They're not messing around. They're going for every single point.
Right here, a self-inflicted wound if you're Oak Ridge would be really nice if St. Francis does something like serve it into the net or hit a ball that would have gone out.
Yeah.
So Cini, way too far for El Weaver to try to save. It's a 6-point lead, largest of the night for any team in set 2.
Absolutely. If St. Francis continues this momentum, then it could change the whole game.
Yep, so far, set 2, it's been all Troubadours.
Absolutely. The Troubadours have made themselves known in this second set, sorry.
And Ness serves out of bounds, Trojan point. And that's what you need if you're the Trojans.
Absolutely.
And if you're Trevin Morgan.
You needed a self-inflicted wound from the Troubadours for just to get the serve back and give it to your best servers, just to get a little bit of momentum going on.
You get a point there, no effort wasted.
Absolutely. Those are always accepted.
Zeph serves it over, too much on it. They give the point to Oak Ridge. Or they give the point to St. Francis.
Wow.
It looks like an Oak Ridge player might have touched the net. And Coach Trevin Morgan letting his players know. Really frustrated there. That's something they need to clean up here. As they could have got momentum there and just gave it right back to St. Francis.
Yeah, that is not what you want.
Horning, too much on it. And it's a point for St. Francis. 12-5, 7-point lead for St. Francis. They look like whatever Coach Alan Wright gave to them in between sets must have worked, saying, hey, we cannot blow another set like that where we're up 4 points and one away from winning it.
Yeah, he must have really flipped a switch with his players in that huddle.
And they've come out firing.
Absolutely.
There's O'Donnell sending it back over. Big hit. Town, that's hard to get to. 4 hits there. Town's hit, not quite able to go over the net. Like we said, this St. Francis student section being really loud.
Absolutely.
Not exactly a student section, but more the JV team that played here just a few hours earlier. And what a save there by O'Donnell.
Wow.
Flex off of Weaver's hand out of bounds. It's a point for St. Francis again, 14-5.
Wow.
And they are dominating set 2.
They are. They are not messing around. They're all gas, no breaks in this second set.
You wonder if Oak Ridge is going to have to do the same, because at this point, you might get yourself into an insurmountable hole that you can't get out of for set 2. But it's all right. You have that set 1 win to cushion you.
So you have that. You don't have the pressure to go up. You don't have the pressure to come back.
And the Trojans get the point there. Riley Elliott and Lizzie Horning forming a wall right there at the net.
Lizzie Horning has been a big part thus far. She's been doing a great job blocking all these shots.
She definitely has been. A call up from JV last year. Came in for the playoffs after the JV season ended. Didn't really have much of a role on that team with all the seniors and depth on that team.
Absolutely.
But an extended role here, main role as a starter, and she's really shown out tonight.
Absolutely. She's playing like she has something to prove.
Ossini with the spike, out of bounds, Troubadour point. Oak Ridge upcoming schedule, Tuesday, August 29th against Vacaville, Thursday, the 31st against Christian Brothers, and a week off, and then Thursday, the 7th of September at Pittman in Turlock. That's a playoff rematch.
Oh, wow.
But we will be streaming the game against Vacaville here on Trojan Pride Sports Marketing on YouTube. We'll be live at 6 p.m. or after the JV game ends, as the Trojans get the point there. They're down 8.
You'd also follow Trojan Pride Sports Marketing on Instagram, Facebook, and all social media platforms to stay updated.
Trojan Pride 80 on all social media platforms, even including TikTok. And you get more coverage of our fall sports, football, women's golf, women's tennis, and volleyball right here.
There's a lot of exciting action going on at Oak Ridge.
Like we said, Oak Ridge versus St. Francis is a big rivalry, especially in football.
Oak Ridge and St. Francis do have a history with one another.
Way back in football. Town's able to get there. That's Larson.
Larson
just able to punch it back
over.
Wasn't able to quite find the correct spot, and it falls down. But I like that effort from Larson.
Absolutely.
Awareness there.
No matter what the score is, the Trojans always fight. They always fight from whatever deficit.
And they've just really been unable to go on a run in this second set. Like, you get the ball back, and you need to get like 3 points out of it and not give it back away to St. Francis. Tip Fagundes is there. Weaver sends it right to Jackie Smith. Fagundes falling down, hits it, sets up Weaver. That's Horning.
What a rally.
And that ball not
Trojans
able to be recovered by St.
point.
Francis, and Oak Ridge gets the point.
Much needed there by the Trojans. If St. Francis would have won that rally, then they would have been well on their way to win the second set. But now that the Trojans are slowly inching back there, if they start getting some momentum, then it very well could turn back.
Foraker sends it over. Can she save this one? She cannot. That was an excellent effort by Jackie Smith and almost went back over the net. But the Trojans, 2 points in a row, looking to get some momentum going. They scored 5 straight down to their last gasp. Can they score 5 straight here in the second set?
If the Trojans can get hot, then anything is possible then. Just got to get into that rhythm.
Magley sends it over. And here's Weaver. Oh, way too much on that one. Trojans say that it touched the net.
Point.
Or that St. Francis touched the net. So it's a point for the Trojans, even though that hit from Weaver was
a rocket.
Yeah, that ball landed all the way in Cameron Park.
But now the Trojans are starting to get some momentum.
And a bad hit from Jackie Smith. Goes out of bounds. It's 4 straight for the Trojans. It's a 4-point game. And we have a timeout from St. Francis just to reassess things. Make sure Oak Ridge is not going to run. We'll be back. It's Ortiz serving the ball for Oak Ridge. They've scored 4 straight points after being down 8 at one point. They're looking to get back into this game, take set 2, and also a commanding 2-0 set lead.
Ortiz has gotten a great string of serves to get the Trojans back in this game.
That 1-0 set lead for Oak Ridge is just, wouldn't want to say a stroke of luck, but great save by Hosseini there.
Great
but
save.
That set could have gone either way. This one,
ooh.
It's a point for Oak Ridge. They said, or a point for St. Francis. That looked like it was a point for St. Francis because Cameron Reiser rejected that one, but it went all the way out of bounds. So refs initially signal point for Oak Ridge, but then go back, give the point to the Troubadours. That could have been real sketchy if you were the Troubadours and you give that up. Because that's a 3-point game, 3-point set. Feels a lot different if it's 3. Instead of it being 3, it's 5. Weaver, too much on it, goes out. And hit the net. A Troubadour hit the net. That's something that these teams need to clean up on.
Absolutely.
Too many touching the net on bad hits, or maybe Weaver sent that bad hit across because she knew someone hit the net. So here's Town, their best server.
Always got to watch out when she's serving.
Was a phenom her freshman year.
Absolutely. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Weaver just sending it across. Troubadour touched the net yet again. And it's a point for Oak Ridge, 3-point game.
Town is a force to be reckoned with this year and next year because I believe she's a junior.
She's a junior, so going to be a big part of the team next year.
Absolutely.
You can definitely see with her serves. Really difficult to return. Put some in the correct spot. And another point for Oak Ridge, awarded from St. Francis's own undoing there. 4 hits on the ball before sending it back over.
This is
15-17.
This is what the Trojans needed. Self-inflicted wounds from St. Francis, and this is what they're getting.
And Town serve just to the right. And it's out, ending a almost 7-1 run from Oak Ridge. To take back momentum and make this a set again. It was at 1 point 9 points for St. Francis. Weaver with the tip.
Ooh.
There were 2 Troubadours converging on that one. But Jackie Smith there as backup gets the point for St. Francis.
Smith has played a huge part, because I believe that was Smith.
That was.
Yeah.
She's been definitely their best player, the libero, best
Absolutely.
server.
She is playing the part of libero quite well.
Weaver, big hit. And this one, we'll see what happens. Or someone might have touched the net.
I believe someone did.
They're going to send the ref out to see what's going on. The officials are going to have a meeting here. That one right at the net. It was trench warfare right there. We'll see who gets the point. And Troubadour is visibly unhappy, but nothing has been signaled yet.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
And it looks like they're going to get the point. See what the official ruling is. And they take the point away from St. Francis, and they're just going to redo this one with Foraker serving.
Interesting. Okay.
There you go. That's simple right there. Just textbook from Cameron Reiser, putting it in no man's land.
Reiser with a nice shot there. She had a real nice low shot, which makes it very, very difficult to return that.
And here's all Weaver to serve. Oak Ridge in a similar situation to this. 3-point deficit late in the first set.
Let's see if
brought
they
in
can
Weaver
replicate.
to serve, and she made it even.
Let's see if the Trojans can replicate their first set performance. Their tail end first set performance.
That was some incredible effort from the whole team there.
Absolutely.
Especially the server, Callie Larson. And it's 2 points.
Callie Larson
Weaver
played a
serving.
huge part in getting the Trojans back.
And get it within one here.
As did
Worker bumps
Jessica
it.
Ortiz.
Rafari sends it back. Rossini. It's covered though. This one rejected at the net. They keep it alive, send it back over. What a play there from
Wow.
St. Francis. Weaver sends it over, tipped again. Zeff sends it over, and it's off the hand of Town. And it goes out of bounds.
Oh, what a great rally there.
Wow. Oak Ridge nearly got that back.
These two teams are delivering tonight on their big reputations.
You can definitely see the just competitiveness between both these two teams. Always want to beat each other when they're on the court.
Absolutely.
So it's 3 points, and Oak Ridge, if you're in this situation, you realize nothing's impossible. You did this last set.
Absolutely.
So they're not phased at all. This one got sent right back on that hit from Hosseini. Riley Elliott sends it across. It's covered, though. Went at the Nisa Fagundes, and she's not able to recover it and send it back across. Troubadour's 4 points away. And a timeout. We'll be back after the break. 4 points from a Troubadour set 2 victory to even this. Well, it's a 21-17 lead for the Troubadours. They have the ball. The ball is in the hands of Sophia Van Ness.
This looks to be another exciting end to the set.
Could be. Oak Ridge, if you get the ball back here, you could just do what you did last set. Replicate that magic. Go on a huge run and steal it.
But they're absolutely going
This
to
time,
need.
stealing set 2 would have
They're going to need
much
to
bigger
stop right here.
impacts. And a bad hit from Hosseini results in a St. Francis point. It leads back up to 5.
St. Francis 3 points away from the set.
And Oak Ridge, you really need, wouldn't say a miracle here, but 5-point lead. You're 3 away from losing.
You need to score now.
It's coming pretty dire here. Varsity tipping it right back over, and that's what you'd like to see from her.
Absolutely. That's a good way for the Trojans to turn the
Little
tides.
bit of a mishap there with that bad hit, but just tipping it back over, gets the kill. Puts the Trojans within 4 of their best server coming up. Trying to steal momentum back and steal set 2, take a 2-0 lead. One just brushed over the top of the net. And sent back by Enziani. This one from Elliott off the speaker. Foraker swings it back across. Town sets up Horning, who finds an angle.
Horning
throws
with
it
the
down.
Huge shot. These juniors are no joke.
That's what we said, Oak Ridge, they're a volleyball player factory.
Absolutely. They always produce the most amazing players.
A great development from these juniors this offseason and last year on varsity in the latter half of the season. This one rejected at the net. It's a 2-point game again. These Trojans will not go down without a fight.
Absolutely. These Trojans are incredible fighters.
So just like the last set, they're down 4 points or 3 points. They come back, score 5 in a row, take set 1. Big hit there from Zeph right into the face of Avery Town. Had no time to react to that one, and
Absolutely not.
St. Francis point.
That was a rocket to the face.
Yeah, it must have hurt. That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, yeah.
She
You
gets
can't
up,
really
she's
come
fine,
back.
though.
Can't really come back and return that.
I'm sure you're used to that if you're a volleyball player. Just
Yeah.
gonna hit
I'm sure
in the face
it's,
like
sure it's
that.
habit at a certain point in time.
Elliott sends it across the other way, across her body, but there's too much on it. Not able to find the correct landing spot. St. Francis with the point, and they're 1 away from taking set 2.
Trojans are now going to need a miracle.
Now, obviously, you need a miracle. You need to get it back and then score 4 straight, just like they did last set. So,
Yep. Not
you could be
impossible.
getting deja vu here.
Could be.
Setting up Weaver. Foraker is there to save it. Sends it back across, off the arm of Town. It's out of bounds. St. Francis takes set 2, 25-20. It's a 1-1 set. It's 1-1 in sets. So this is a game again. We'll be back for set 3 after this 3-minute break. 1-1, all knotted up. After an incredible set one that Oak Ridge came with a huge comeback, and then St. Francis controlling set two after a late scare. This is shaping up to be an incredible game between two rivals in the Sacramento region.
Oh, this is an incredible game. This is my first time commentating on volleyball, and it's the perfect first time.
Exactly. I said that last time. My first time calling a volleyball game was a 5-setter against St. Mary's about a year ago. And I said to my play-by-play guy, Charlie, I said, hey, if this is what I'm going to get every night calling volleyball, I want to come back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we got.
I'm absolutely going to be on the mic more often.
This Trojan brand of volleyball is always so fun to watch. The Sierra Foothill League with the opponents they play, always also really good at volleyball.
Oak Ridge volleyball always delivers the goods when it comes to how good these games are.
A lot better than calling Oak Ridge football games, which are always blowouts because of the competition.
Because our football team is very, very good.
Always a blowout for the football team, beating someone.
Our football team is always very formidable, and so are our other sports. Women's soccer. We have plenty of other
good
sports
sports like
always very
lacrosse
very
is always good, but tomorrow, football at 7 p.m. against Grant. You can catch it here on the YouTube channel, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. I'll be doing play-by-play for that game. You can catch Brian and Logan Brian calling the game right now, and Logan Takeo alternating on color. It should be a great game against Grant. Two powerhouses in the Sacramento region. Oak Ridge number 28 in the great state of California, and Grant number 41. So very evenly matched game. Should be fun to call. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Be there.
And while we have Logan on the mic, I will be on the field using a very nice camera.
Yeah, field camera, that's next level. Is
Absolutely,
that one right there. No Troubadour was there. A little miscommunication from them, and they take the first point.
But a good start for the Trojans.
Hey, it's been 2 sets, but whoever gets the first point has won the set.
That's right. The first point can always decide.
That one hit so hard off of Gundus that she didn't even put any effort into hitting that one.
Wow.
Troubadours get the point there, however. And as we've gone deeper into the night, looks like a lot of the stands or student section have cleared out. So
yeah, they're missing out.
Missing out. Maybe they have places to be, but the
if
St. Francis student section had been pretty loud,
stay.
or the JV team.
They have established their presence in this arena many times throughout the night.
And Weaver gets rejected right there by Foraker. What a hit right there. Just saying nope, sending it right back. Well, it's also important to note, since St. Francis is a private Catholic school, a lot of the families live here in El Dorado Hills or the surrounding area. Even though St. Francis is in Sacramento, you have a lot of people from El Dorado Hills going there, so that could also impact attendance.
Locals.
A lot of locals, just as Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge has the hometown advantage.
Yeah, they have the home court advantage, but St. Francis, a lot of El Dorado Hills locals play on that team.
Yeah. There's a lot of El Dorado Hills, Folsom people nearby who on the Francis volleyball team.
So it's Jess Ortiz to serve. That hit from St. Francis just went out of bounds. There have been no big rallies here. Town spotted a weakness there. The entire St. Francis team was regrouping, trying to get it across, but it's covered though. Weaver almost gets rejected again by Foraker. What a move there by Town, or Callie Larson just faking it, sending it over, and this one, Jess Ortiz not quite able to get there in time. So a great rally there.
Yep, a great rally to start off the third set. Third set, which I hope will be just as entertaining as the first and the second.
Definitely hope so, not a blowout. Last set, set 2, was looking like a blowout in St. Francis's favor, but turned out to be a thrilling match, with Oak Ridge almost taking set 2, like they did set 1. But it's best of 5, and the way that this one has been going, we're definitely looking at a 5-setter.
I agree.
Weaver, big hit. Jackie Smith is there and sends it back across. She's been everywhere for the St. Francis team. Riley Elliott gets it sent back right there. And it looks like a Trojan touched the net, or too many hits. And it's 4-2. Like we said, there's definitely some, not bad blood, but a lot of competitive spirit between these two teams due to the fact that they played each other in the section finals for the Sac-Joaquin area last year in early November.
There is a fair amount of tension between them.
Definitely is. You can reflect it in the way that the teams are chirping at each other, or especially St. Francis. Oak Ridge, not so much, but the St. Francis student section, letting them know they're here. They're bringing the energy.
Yeah, they are not afraid to let this arena know that they're representing.
Avery Town will serve. Best server on the team for Oak Ridge. Could argue her or Fagundes, but serve a 1-2 punch. Can really get you those points when you need it, those consistent serves.
There's always two servers who you want in any situation, and Fagundes and Town are probably the ones that you want.
Those clutch situations, although gotta give credit to Callie Larson for what she did in set 1. This one off the roof. There is a chance that someone on Oak Ridge, Hosini or Fagundes could have got to it, but it falls harmlessly to the ground for St. Francis. It's a point for them.
I don't believe either team has been able to gain momentum on their side. It's just been back and forth so far.
It's really been back and forth. There's not been any ridiculous 10, 12, nothing run. There's a thunderous hit from Weaver just sent back. And there's Zeph just tipping it over, putting in the layup. Bringing in the little bank shot. There's no one there, just tapped it across, went straight down.
Very finesse. There.
That was, yeah, definitely. It's like when you're an elite finisher in basketball, that's what it looks like in volleyball, I guess.
That's right, getting that smooth layup.
That's Steph Curry if he could play volleyball.
That's right.
And Zeph again, she's on fire right now, throwing that one down. Right into no man's land. It's 7-3. And that's serving. Awkward hit by Hosini there. Tipped across, but rejected. And Weaver tries that tip, sends it back across. What a save there, recovering that one. And that one, bad hit, not able to get across the net, and the Trojans get the point.
It's a good rally there. That was a very, honestly, you couldn't tell that was a rally until you actually, because, you could have guessed at any moment it would just been out.
Wasn't as much a rally with thundering hits, but tips over the net, these short passes trying to fake someone out.
Yeah. It was a very technical rally.
Weaver, too much on it. That would have went out, but Foraker, out of instinct, just touched that one. This one just brushes off the top of the net. Hosini tipped at the front. Magley and Zepp. Now Weaver throws it down off the fist of Jackie Smith.
Rockets.
And this one from Foraker, not enough on it. Doesn't go across, right into the net. What a rally that was.
Both teams are volleying with such aggression.
You can tell just with playing with fire. Weaver will serve. That hit from Van Ness was not quite able to find its intended target there, which was Kelsey Magley. And it's another point for the Trojans, which is a result of St. Francis hitting it either into the net or out of bounds. And too much on that hit from Weaver. It's out of bounds.
Have the Trojans had the lead in this third set?
They haven't yet, so they took that 1-0
Oh,
lead.
yeah.
So you could say they've led at some point here.
But thus far,
It's mainly been neck and neck here.
Yeah.
Last set started with the Troubadours taking like a 14-5 lead. And this one, another miscommunication and just awkward play from St. Francis gives Oak Ridge the point.
Fagundes leading the Trojans to battle once
Fagundes,
again.
one of their best servers there. Oh, what a rejection there from Horning.
What a block by Horning.
He's sending it right back.
Wow.
Like it's yours now. That ball's yours now.
Horning has
No
had
one was
a
there.
great impact. Great impact thus far.
Oh, what a save by Fagundes, and what a tip from Horning, but it touched the net. What an incredible effort there.
What an effort.
Wow. Fagundes just came out of nowhere to save it.
Put her body on the line for that.
And Coach Morgan loves to see that from his players showing that kind of effort.
Who wouldn't, as a coach? What coach wouldn't love to see that type
Not
of...
sure no coach would not love to see that.
Yeah.
It's like textbook, 110% right there. Weaver, too much on it, goes to the left. And I'm sure the Trojans are saying, don't let us get away from us so much to the point where a comeback is extremely difficult. Like last time, they were able to get themselves back into the game in the latter half of the set. But because they were down so much at one point, it became very difficult and almost everything had to go right.
Yeah, the Trojans got to make sure they don't put themselves too much into a hole they can't dig out.
Anything more than, I'd say, 6 points becomes a little difficult.
Yeah. At that point, you're going to be needing a little bit of a miracle.
Not as much a miracle, but just perfect play. No room for error.
Yeah.
And there's Socini finding a gap and getting it down.
The Trojans have been making sure in this third set that St. Francis don't get out to that big lead that they want to.
For sure, and not letting someone like Jackie Smith just get their hands on that ball and keep serving it across. Their best server. Here's Larson, set one hero.
Can she do it again?
Well, this point, not as much a clutch situation in the game, but way too much on that hit right there.
But she could get the Trojans back into the lead.
It could. I mean, at this point, when you're just neck and neck, I don't think taking the lead is as important as it is just stopping momentum. Taking a 12-11 lead means nothing if you just give the ball right back.
Yeah, it's
Give
important
yourself
to
a
maintain.
cushion of 3 or 4, then that's when you're looking comfortable. This is a bad hit from Van Ness.
Horning once
Sent
again.
right back across, but Horning is there, aware, finding a hole, putting it down.
Horning is an obstacle that St. Francis can't get past.
She's been excellent all night. A lot of kills, a lot of clutch plays in timely situations.
She has played a huge role.
And Coach Morgan loves to see that from his junior right there. Just first game on the varsity squad. Big collision at the net. Stays with St. Francis. Larson to Fagundes to Fossini. This one falls down, but Foraker is there for the save. The fake from Horning. And this one, way too much to recover. And it's Fossini with the kill. Her and Horning have been excellent tonight
And they've
in their
been
first game
incredible.
with this varsity squad.
And the team looks like they have so much chemistry with one another.
And they do, and they haven't really played that much together, except last year for a few games in the playoffs. Coach Morgan said when his team was up big, they just let the juniors or sophomores come in and get reps. That one brushed to the top of the net.
And those reps have paid off.
And Fagundes not able to get there in time, not able to put herself in front of that one. It goes out of bounds off a Trojan. It's a point for St. Francis.
And if Oak Ridge have this chemistry in the first game of the season, as they continue
It's just
to
going to develop
progress,
and get better and better.
it's going to be even better.
Here's Dotweiler serving. Larson's there. The fake from Horning again. Fossini trying to send it back, but the Troubadours are not fooled.
And the Trojans
Or-
regain the lead.
Looks like they touched the net, actually, and give a point to the Trojans. So, might have been a nice play there, but got to keep your hands off that net. Now Hosseini will be serving. Town trying to just send it back across. It works.
Trojans are getting a little bit of momentum.
Liked what I saw there. It looks like she was just trying to set it to
Yeah.
one of her teammates, but no, just flips it across.
Just went over.
Like the fake.
And you can't complain about those. You just always got to take them.
That's what the Trojans have been so good at. Just this Trojan brand of volleyball with Trevin Morgan.
Trevin Morgan has a certain way of playing, and if that way isn't followed through, then those players are not given that attention.
For
so
sure.
They have to play his way.
That kill attempt just goes straight into the net. Oak Ridge gets another point. They're up 3. Troubadours call a timeout, and we'll be back. It's a 3-point lead for Oak Ridge. Trojans trying to take this crucial set 3 in a heavyweight battle against St. Francis. They're up 3 in the third set.
This game seems like a playoff game to me.
It does, and it's the first game of the season for these Trojans. They circled this one on their schedule. It's not the first game for St. Francis, but they circled this one on their schedule for Oak Ridge. Like, got to win here. Show St. Francis that we can still beat them, just like we did in the section finals.
Very important to establish to your rivals that you still mean business.
Rossini sends it across. That's difficult to make up, but they do send it back. That's Van Ness. Town sets up Weaver.
Oh.
What a hit! Right in
What a
Gottwalder's face.
hit.
And it goes into the bleachers.
You can always rely on Weaver for those rockets.
Yeah, she's without a doubt the best player on this team. Brown commit to the University of Brown last fall.
As a junior,
A
which
scholarship to an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Testament to
that is
who
very
she is
incredible.
outside of volleyball. And St. Francis getting a much needed point right there. That great kill, putting it in no man's land where no Trojan was, and make it a 3-point game again. And here's
Committing-
Jackie Smith, their best server.
Committing to an Ivy League as a junior blows my mind,
Definitely.
honestly.
You don't just got to be good on the court. You need to be great in the classroom. Getting into an Ivy League school is obviously no easy accomplishment for anybody. And Weaver just brushed off the top of the net. Nobody on St. Francis was fooled, and it goes out.
Looks like St. Francis has come out with a greater sense of urgency out of that
For sure.
timeout.
Out of that timeout, we realized like we need to get this set, or at least not let it get away from us.
And the Trojans have to
And
respond.
Hosseini with that hit almost fell to the ground. Some great defense there. Weaver tips it. You had Magley converging on it, and she's not able to get there in time. So now here's Ortiz. Might not look like it, but once you get to that 20 mark, you're 3 points away from that. Can look like your victory is just there. That one just brushes off the top of the net, and we talked about those serves and what they can do for a team. St. Francis not ready for that one. Thought it was going to hit the net.
They were caught off guard by that.
For sure.
Just
Trying to
Ortiz
replicate
packs
that.
a
It's so
punch.
hard to do. You could tell Ortiz was trying to do it there, but just hit
Yeah.
it too low into the net. That's why it's pretty impractical to do, to always serve it like that. Because also, if you catch a team off guard every time, you never catch them off guard.
Yeah.
So
Can't happen every time.
it can't, because then it takes away its magic. Here's Foraker to serve. And Weaver just going to tip it over. Trying to find an angle to get there. Trying to find some open space. Using her height. And vertical jump. Fagundes was almost able to save that one, but Weaver not quite expecting Fagundes to make up all that ground with that save. So it's a point for St. Francis, 16-18. They're climbing their way back into this game.
St. Francis is not letting Oak Ridge run away with this.
Definitely not, and neither team has let the other team run away with it, really. Weaver's going to try to tip it over right to Jackie Smith. Zeph gets rejected, but it's a point for St. Francis as it went out of bounds off of a Trojan. The Trojans call timeout as their lead is down to 1. Out of the timeout, we'll see if Oak Ridge changes their approach really to what they're doing and trying to get themselves, not let this one get away from them. They had a 4-point lead at one point, down to 1. In a crucial part of the game like this, you don't want to let that happen.
And at this point in the game, you need to have your best players if you're Coach Trevin Morgan.
So
you have the most reliable players in the game.
Whoever takes this set can almost smell victory in the fourth set. The Trojans bring in Kylie Gaunt into the game the first time, and her first action in this game is a kill. Give the Trojans some much needed point. Try to take back momentum. They're going to bring in Riley Elliott into the game for Callie Larson, and here's Avery Town to serve.
That is exactly who you want right now.
Too much on it, hits it out. 20.
And now, they're in the 20s.
They're in the 20, 5 away. 3-point lead. Big collision there, but the Trojans keep it alive. That was a big hit. There's no whistle. Now there's a whistle. Point goes to St. Francis.
Back to 2.
Yeah, neck and neck. No team's gonna let this get away from you. Get away from each other.
I don't know if we've seen a 4-point lead.
We've seen, not in this set, I don't think we've seen. That's the most we've seen. But set 2 obviously had a big lead for St. Francis that the Trojans clawed their way back from, but weren't quite able to finish off. Gaunt keeps it alive. Weaver, they just toss it over. Magley there, trying to set up. Foraker hits it into the net, 4 away from a set 3 win and a 2-1 lead.
Trojans are edging closer and closer with Ellie Weaver to serve. Exactly who you'd want.
Your best player, most reliable player right here. Big hit from Zep, too much on it. Goes out of bounds, 4 away, or 3 away for the Trojans. It's a 4-point lead.
This is the biggest lead of the set.
Tying the biggest lead of the set for them, and from either team. And a timeout for St. Francis, trying to get momentum back and not let this set drop from them, put them in a hole. 3 points away from a set 3 win and a 2-1 lead are the Trojans and Elle Weaver up serving. 4-point lead for them. Ties their largest of this set. And they want none other than Elle Weaver, their best player, up serving the ball right now. Zeph tries to tip it over, but it too little on it, hits the net, and it's another point for the Trojans.
2 points away. But it looks like the Trojans are ready for anything St. Francis throws their way.
Just like what happened in set 1, this is not over at all.
Absolutely.
This isn't an insurmountable lead. Just as right there, St. Francis with an opportunity to get momentum back.
This set is still for the taking. Whoever wants it more takes it. As it is in all sports.
2, so it'll be Ellie Carpenter serving, the junior.
In sets like this, it shows the team's spirit in their heart. They fight all out.
Neither team has gone down without a fight, just playing their hearts out. And Hosseini finds a hole, puts it down, 1 point away.
What a shot.
What a play by Hosseini, the junior.
What a shot. Match point, game point.
And so here's Kate Fagundes to try to close out set 1, or set 3.
Who better than your Libro for this?
None better. You could have Avery Town, but you could also argue Kate Fagundes the best server on this team.
And Ellie Weaver, too.
Yep, they form a 3-headed monster.
That's
trying
right.
to serve that ball. They're serving it. 51 total serving aces for Fagundes last year. They keep it alive. Fagundes falls down. And Riley Elliott, too little on that ball, or too low. It goes into the net, and St. Francis is alive.
The Trojans got to wait a little bit more to have another chance to clinch this set.
Kelsey Magley will be serving this ball. Magley, the best server for St. Francis. 50 total serving aces last year, 0.7%. Gets sent right back to Oak Ridge. They're not full. They keep it alive. Hosseini, she's been great all night. Can't you do it here? Hosseini, too much to the left, and it goes out of bounds. And it's a point for St. Francis.
I think
St. Francis keeping their hopes alive.
I think something important for the Trojans is to keep their composure, because as they're etching closer and closer, they think that I don't know, they just might get overconfident.
You have a 3-point cushion here. You can call timeout if you feel things are getting a little too.
But it's important to keep composure.
But Weaver tries to send it across. Fagundes gets it across. Foraker sends it over. Hosseini tips it over with the little floater.
What a rally.
Rejected at the net, and Magley is there to reset. Foraker sends it over. This one over the net, and it falls out of bounds, and it's a point for St. Francis. 24-22, and now suddenly you're looking at a situation where you could lose by less than 2. You have to win by more than 2, and St. Francis could do just that. Oakers takes a timeout to assess where things are going, and we'll be back. Well, the Trojans were comfortably up 5 points at 1 point, 1 point away from winning set 3 and going up 2-1. But since then, St. Francis got the ball back, a few great serves of their own, and suddenly they're in business again, and it's not out of the picture at all for them to take set 3. Down 2, Oak Ridge still 2-point cushion. You have 2 plays here where you can lose and still be okay, but
the Trojans have to keep their composure.
Coach Morgan definitely frustrated that his team cannot close it out there. And you warned of it, Brian, and you were right. And here's Weaver sending it across, hits the roof. Bassini tips it over. Magli is there. That might have touched the net. Hornick sends it across, just flicks it over. Too much on it, it goes out of bounds, and the Trojans take set 3. That's what I said. The Trojans, they benefit on other teams' own undoing, and they take set 3 on that exact same principle. They go up 2-1, 1 set away from a huge win on their opening night against their heated rivals.
Oh boy.
Trojans 25 points away from closing out this match against their heated rivals, the St. Francis Troubadours. They took a 2-1 lead over St. Francis with a thrilling but pretty sketchy set for them. Almost blew it towards the end.
Yeah, it was a little too close for comfort.
But it doesn't matter when you get the win.
Yeah.
So none of that matters. If you can go close this set out against a great team in St. Francis, it's going to look great. None of that's going to matter.
As long as the win is secured in your first game of the season against a rival, like you said, like St. Francis, then the Trojans are on the right path for glory.
Exactly. And this game's definitely not over if you're St. Francis. You can win one more set, and if
take
this
it to
goes
a
to a
decisive
fifth set, winner takes all set, it's best to it's first to 15 rather than 25 in attempt to shorten things. So
increases the stakes. And also decreases the margin for error.
Does.
Significantly.
You can go on a run, but those runs mean a lot more.
Yeah.
And
Those runs can make or break the game.
Way less room for error. See the ref over there just jamming the boogie down right now.
I'm a fan of that ref.
Yeah.
You know?
Just let loose a little bit.
Seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, that should have been us
Yeah.
up here.
That was me up here.
That actually was you. You were singing the lyrics of the song a little bit. Getting loose. Rossini keeps it alive right there. And Rossini now tips it across. She's been involved all night, and she's been excellent. And a big hit from Caroline Foraker gives St. Francis a 1-0 lead. Like we've said, last 3 sets, first team to score wins the set.
Yep. We'll see if that...
No, we might be getting ahead of ourselves. We could
Maybe.
be looking at a 5-setter right here.
Yep. And we kind of are hoping for a 5-set. This is...
Yeah, 'cause this is
Are
high.
we?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little less exciting when half the crowd leaves.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected when you have other things to do on a weeknight. Another point for St. Francis. And they clearly aren't discouraged by set 3 or what happened there because they're still
It's like it never
on the
happened.
sideline having fun, knowing that there's one more set that they can win. And then they can take momentum for set 5, get a win there. And they have their best server up, Jackie Smith. Rossini's been on that left side. She's been way involved, and this one off the arms of a troubadour, out of bounds.
Weaver once again with I'm like a broken record. This is another huge hit.
So much arm power there. Now Rossini will be serving. And for Gundis, a low hit. Not quite good positioning there. Foraker serving. They go the 1-2 punch of Jackie Smith and Caroline Foraker. Two of their best players, and a miscommunication there. I'm not sure what they were looking at exactly. Because that one just falls to the ground. Their troubadours all there, so it wasn't like they were converging on that one trying to get it. Just miscommunication, mishap. Maybe that'll come back to haunt them.
Maybe. Because now the Trojans have the serve, and they have a little bit of momentum.
And an excellent tip there by Zeph, just seeing an opening where nobody was and just chucking it across. Hey, here you go, have this.
Zeph has played a big part.
She's been excellent for St. Francis.
She's been one of their big players along with Jackie Smith. St. Francis have had a lot of standouts tonight.
One player on St. Francis who we've not seen all night because she's not in uniform, Mila Stojakovic. Daughter of Sacramento royalty Pela Stojakovic, Kings legend, early 2000s.
In this area, that is royalty right there.
That is, for sure. A small market team like Sacramento, you're going to be remembered.
Oh, yeah.
For your contributions to that great team.
Especially for getting that team to the conference finals.
Well, they should have won.
I'm not complaining, you know.
Lakers fan bias from you, Brian.
That's right. It happens.
Weaver throws it down off the hands of Magli and Zeph. And it falls out of bounds.
Once again, this set is back and forth.
Back and forth, just like the last few ones. Not a huge run to start the game, or not a huge run in the game, but there's Towns serving. Jackie Smith recovers it.
2 bodies on the ground.
What a hit to send that one back across from Haley Sutton. And another big hit from Elle Weaver.
Weaver just coming in with the hits. She's so consistent.
And if you're St. Francis, you absolutely cannot let Weaver take control right here. Because you know what she can do when she's in a rhythm.
You have the 1-2 punch of Town serving and then Weaver returning it back to you.
For sure.
She's
in a rhythm right now.
Ooh.
Tough break for the Trojans. Town serve just goes right into the net.
Especially as they were getting on a little bit of a run.
Carpenter's serving. They go to Weaver again.
Oh!
And she cannot be stopped so far. 3 straight kills for the Trojans.
Weaver's
3 straight
unstoppable.
kills for Weaver. And she's in a rhythm. She's all the way warmed up right now. And now she'll serve.
That is not what you want from a St. Francis perspective.
And too much on that one goes out. So very lucky break for St. Francis that she cannot get into a rhythm serving as she can hitting.
Because hitting, she's arguably the best on the court when it comes to that.
For sure. Hitting, so much power there. And the vision of the court, knowing where to put it. And what a tip right there. Just sending it over. That was layered right there. Calculated tip from Hosseini.
The Trojan attack has the perfect balance of finesse and absolute power shots.
Just putting it right over 2 defenders at the net, but too short for those other defenders in the backcourt to go and get to. That's calculated. That's a great hit.
Yeah.
Love to see that for Trevin Morgan. This off the top of the net.
Horning once
Trojan
again.
Point.
Horning with the little tap.
Looked like it didn't get across at all, but Fagundes to serve. Also one of the premier servers on this Oak Ridge team. I'm not sure that Van Ness really needed to hit that. That could have gone out. But either way, they keep it alive. Horning tries to get it across, but 4 touches without sending it over. And so far, back and forth in this 4th set.
That's been the trend.
Both these teams want this game so bad. Even if it's just some random game in August, this feels like I'm watching the section finals again.
Yeah. This feels like a late fall game where like a lot is on the line.
Ooh. It's just off the top of the net, and you can't hit it if it touches the net and then reflects back to your side of the court. So, a point for St. Francis. Weaver hitting it. This time, right to where Magley was. Rejected, tipped back across. And the great play by Town there, keeping it alive. Elliott sends it over. And just on the outside left-hand corner, it stays in. It's a point for Oak Ridge.
Wow. St. Francis thought that was going right out. They
thought that was going out, but in that perfect spot.
I guess the Trojans got a little lucky on there.
For sure.
On that play.
Little lucky, but perfectly placed there from Riley Elliott.
That's true. Which has been
here.
the trend for the entire attack. They're always very precise.
Oak Ridge has made some really good plays here, but St. Francis still with the lead 9-8. Could change here with Weaver hitting it across right to Magley. Foraker sends it across, but to the right, it goes out of bounds. 9-9.
Callie Larson, the first set hero, back to serve.
Big collision at the net. Hosseini was trying to get there, and it falls right at the midcourt logo.
A little bit unlucky there for the Trojans.
A little bit. Looked like it could have gone either way across the net, but. Jackie Smith hits it right to Kate Fagundes, the 2 liberos on each team. And a great save, standing her ground, was Fagundes. And a big hit from Weaver, thundering hit, but just a little too much on it. That ball's a few inches shorter.
You can always count
right
on
there,
Weaver.
and another big hit from Weaver, but unfortunately not able to get the point there for Oak Ridge.
Weaver's always reliable for those enormous hits.
out that hit from Jackie Smith, and it's a Trojan point. Ariana Hosseini to serve. Zeff hits it over right in Larson's face, but they're there. Elle Weaver to serve off the hands of Jackie Smith.
What a hit.
And there's Weaver. Even with those big hits, they can really catch these defenders off guard, scare them, not give them enough reaction time, and just get those hits out of bounds. Zeff throws it down. Horning keeps it alive. Hosseini needs to throw it back across. And she does. Rejected right at the net, but it falls out of bounds, so that would have been a great defensive play right there from Horning.
That would have been big.
But unfortunately on the wrong side of the court, a little bit to the right.
Once again, incredibly close game.
Here's Caroline Foraker. Weaver throws it down off of the body of Foraker. They signaled it might have went out, but it touched Foraker before she was able to get out of the way, or they give the point to St. Francis. Initially, they awarded it to Oak Ridge, but
yeah, it
was out. So she'll serve again into the net. Trojans take over again. Ortiz's serve is returned. Tipped. Hosseini's not able to get there in time. St. Francis with the point. For St. Francis, their upcoming games are Saturday the 26th against Christian Brothers, Tuesday the 29th against McClatchy, and Wednesday the 30th against Folsom.
So it looks like they have a pretty solid schedule.
3 home games. Weaver gets rejected right there by Zeff and Magley. But the Trojans are able to keep it alive by some stroke of luck right there and some great plays. John has to reassess where that ball was. Send it back across. Hosseini there. Town sets up Weaver. Tips it across into no man's land. And is able to get the point. What a play there. After getting initially rejected right at the net, Trojans keep it alive, give it right back to the Weaver, their big playmaker, and get that point. Incredible play right there.
She's absolutely such a versatile player.
She can do it all.
Yeah.
She's not a D1 commit for no reason.
Yeah.
D1 commit her junior year.
Yeah. To Ivy
League.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-point lead. All this from Elle Weaver. Her coming alive this fourth set. All this from Elle Weaver, but St. Francis still up 2. Albeit it could change in an instant. But neither team has given up any big runs or allowed anything like that. Just extremely competitive play tonight. Setting up Foraker, and they get the point.
St. Francis are in a bit of a run.
They are. Up 3 now. As much as we're talking about Weaver, how about Caroline Foraker?
Yeah.
Almost an identical player. Able to throw down big hits, find gaps when they need.
Foraker and Weaver are the volleyball versions of Jordan and Kobe with how similar they are.
For sure. Just mere clones of themselves. You're just watching with the way that they play. That serve went into the net. So Trojans get a lucky break there with Weaver serving. And Weaver's serve can't clear the net. Is trying to get it to where it would tip over the net. Catch the Troubadours off guard, but can't quite get there.
Looks like both teams are currently struggling with the serve.
Yeah, there's been a lot of serves into the net, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Something you don't really want for the coach. Magley will serve. Low serve, Town keeps it alive to set up Hosseini. This one, way out there, it's a point for the Trojans. one all the way up here. There's one time someone almost hit a ball and went right towards us.
Yeah.
For a men's volleyball game, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
This came flying right towards me. I was pretty confused.
The men always pack an
scared.
enormous punch when spiking it.
And Van Ness did not need to hit that, but she did.
Yep.
Awards the Trojans a point.
Would have been out, but it hit St.
Definitely
Francis.
looks like it would have gone out.
Yeah.
A little mistake from Van Ness, just talking about how they're going to prevent that from happening. Communicating with their teammates.
It's all those little things that can change the course of a game.
Foraker serves it a little too much to the left. And this game is tied at 17 again.
Trojans are edging closer towards the win.
Not quite a set 5, but it definitely feels like it. If St. Francis can take this one,
Yeah.
definitely feels like they would have all the momentum in the world for a set 5, best of 15. Vergundas to serve. Here's Jackie Smith. And Sutton, too much on that. Wide left. Trojans take their first lead of the 4th set. And the Troubadours call timeout, trying to not let this one get away from them for good. Ready to go, and the Trojans, they're 6 points away from taking set 4 and this game with a 3-1 win over their heated rival, St. Francis. St. Francis, on the other hand, they're 7 points away from taking set 4 and forcing a set 5, where it's the first of 15, where they feel they would have all the momentum in the world if they can take this one.
Oh.
Here's Fagundes to serve.
These next few points can determine the game. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Sets up Hosseini, and this one, just a little fumble at the net for Amanda Silber and Sophia Van Ness.
Hosseini with a great
And
hit
it falls
there.
right down to the ground. That was a great hit from Hosseini. It just got tangled up in the arms of those two Troubadours. And see Weaver and Hosseini sort of switching the positions that they're playing with. Weaver not being the big hitter, but being the one who regulates the offense.
The
Now they
Trojans
switch.
have been struggling on the serve recently.
A little bit.
It's been
What is
Weaver
this?
now Fagundes.
Yeah, and then can't really waste your two best servers like that.
Yeah.
Two servers like that where you do that. So here's
but-
Mana Jafari, the junior.
They always have Jessica Ortiz and
They
Callie Larson.
go back to Hosseini, who gets knocked away at the net. That's Amanda Silber and Caroline Foraker. The big body's up at the net, blocking it, forming a brick wall, and suddenly it's 19-19.
Now it's back.
This is crunch time.
This is crunch time.
Jafari low serve, Weaver fields it. And they go right back to Weaver. It hits the line, and the point goes to Oak Ridge. Well, if you saw that one just hit the line. When it hits the line,
Yeah.
it's in. So perfectly placed ball there
Yeah.
by Weaver. Could not have placed that one any better, and they take a lead.
Absolutely
20-19. They can smell victory here.
5 points to
20-19.
go.
Here's Larson trying to close this one out. She was able to do so in set 1. Jafari fields it, send it back to Smith, who sends it across to Fagundes. They go to Hornig, switch things up. Towns able to keep that one alive, and now to Hosseini. And not enough to get that one over the net. We're knotted at 20.
20-20. Anything can happen when
Now,
teams
when
are at
it's
20.
When it's 1 point or 2 points in 20, it feels intense, but when it's all knotted up after 20 points, that's when it gets crazy.
Yeah. This is when it gets fun.
And best server for the Troubadours, Jackie Smith. Trojans have been able to, not really been able to get to her all night. Weaver coming in like a little floater there across the net. A lot of ground to make up. Troubadours keep that one alive. That was Zeph. Back to Weaver with one arm, keeps it alive. And Hosseini sends it across, but she touched the net.
Oh,
And it's a Troubadour point.
that could be big.
That is big. You miss an opportunity to get that ball back, and now you're down one. Trojans take a timeout to assess where things are right now, and we'll be back. It's 21-20 in set number 4. Best of 5. Trojans up 2-1. They need to take this one to secure their opening night win over St. Francis. St. Francis needing here to force a set 5, score 15 in that set 5, and not go on a 3-game losing streak with losses against Folsom and Rockland.
This is a big point right here.
All silent as she serves it across. Fagundes did not look like she saw it. Hosseini sends it back across, so the Trojans are fine in this one. Big spike there
What a hit.
from Lily Zeff.
Lily Zeff has been enormous.
Finding a lane and putting the Troubadours back in business. Inching closer to a set 4 win and forcing a set 5. First to 15, winner takes all. Out. Weaver made the smart decision of not hitting it, and the Trojans will get the ball back.
Great decision making there by Weaver.
She thought about hitting it, hesitated, and realized, nope, it's not worth it to hit that. That's going out.
Yep. It was a gamble, but the gamble paid off.
For sure. They always say it's better to be safe than sorry, but in a situation like that, it looked like it was going out.
Yeah. It's better than
Here's Ella Vlautin to come on. This is her first time serving all night, and it comes in a crucial situation like this. Not sure what just happened, but
Yeah.
they take out Hosseini. They bring in Vlautin. It's a huge situation for her to serve. A lot of pressure on the junior.
First
Action of tonight, and it comes to this situation. Shows the trust that Coach Morgan has in him. Horning sends it back over. Oh, what a save there by Vlautin. Borker sends it across.
Two huge
Vlautin's there.
saves.
What incredible effort right there. Falling down, trying to recover that one. They try to pick on her. They almost keep it alive, but they can't. And the point goes to St. Francis.
2 points away.
That was some incredible effort there. Hosseini, no, not Hosseini, but Jafari on the Troubadours is keeping that one alive, and another timeout. We'll take another break. St. Francis 2 points away from forcing a set 5. So we're ready to go here again. What a game this has been. 2 points away in the hands of Caroline Foraker. 2 points separate the Troubadours from forcing a set 5 and losing here to Oak Ridge, your heated rivals in Oak Ridge's first game of the season.
And you know things are getting tense when Bon Jovi's getting played on the
For
big
sure.
speaker.
Oh man, the song gets the intensity. Not a big fan of it, but
You're not a big fan of Bon Jovi?
nope, never have been. What are they playing music for right now?
What's going on? Miscommunication between the coaches and the ref, or what's going on? Interesting.
So, little delay. The DJ Nico Horning,
DJ Nico
brother
Horning.
of Lizzie Horning, might be both looking at each other like they're trolling each other, but
Former
Nico on
VP
Ox.
of Broadcasting, also.
Former VP 2021-2022.
Current Syracuse
Currently
student.
at Syracuse.
Without
Most
him, we
prestigious
would not be
broadcasting
here.
school. Here's Foraker, brush the top of the net. Here's Weaver, tipping it across, saving it. Point goes to St. Francis.
Wow.
Looks like it might have touched the net, but barring a miracle comeback, we're looking at a set 5, first to 15.
Oak Ridge is not a fan of the call. Not at all. Ellie Weaver especially was very displeased.
This is crazy. This game started around 7:30. It's been going on for an hour and a half, but we're loving every second of it being
Oh,
here.
yeah.
The atmosphere is crazy. The intensity is crazy. They go to Weaver. Way too much on that one. That sailed way out, but they give the point to
for
Oak Ridge. I've noticed that when Weaver hits the ball like that, just completely
It's due to
destroys
something.
it. It's due to something at the net, like a Troubadour touching it, and the refs give him the call. So here's Ortiz. You get 2 points here, you're in business.
Absolutely.
22-24, Oak Ridge.
These
up
are
2-1 in
enormous.
sets. Trying to win this game. Troubadours trying to force set 5. Jess Ortiz sends it across. Jackie Smith sets up Van Ness, and that's just on the line. They give the point to Oak Ridge.
Ooh. That could be enormous.
That looked to me like that was on the line and a point for St. Francis. And they call a timeout. St. Francis is not happy, and rightfully so. Well, this one's just got interesting again.
Oh,
Looks
it
like
has.
St. Francis was 1 point away from winning it, just as they were in set 1. But here come the Trojans, not going down without a fight. The hit from Van Ness. The refs ruled it out of bounds. It looked like it could have been in.
Let's see if
However,
let's see if the Trojans got ice in
the
their
set
veins.
4 clinching point. But let's see what the Trojans do here. Down to their last gasp, but they still have another set of breathing room. Weaver gets
Oh
wow. Looks like she might have got rejected there, but they give the point to Oak Ridge, and we're tied at 24 again. Wow.
Oh
That
my.
looks like it went off a Troubadour out of bounds.
Oh boy.
So, important to note, we need to win by 2 here, so 2 straight points from Oak Ridge. We got to win. We got a stray volleyball rolling across the court. That one looks like it would have gone out. Jafari is there to return it. And this one, a point for Oak Ridge.
Dude, Jess Ortiz is pulling Game 6 Jordan right now.
Wow, this is incredible. Ortiz
Is Game 6
A lot of
Jordan.
pressure on her right now. That hit cross court just out of bounds. This could be the clincher right here. Jackie Smith sets it. They set up Van Ness. Ortiz is there. Weaver to clinch it. No. Van Ness is there. And this one into the net. They got him their own way. Not enough to get that one across, and what a win for the Trojans on opening night against their rivals.
With an astonishing opening win.
Wow.
Oh my.
Come from behind win, got deja vu to set 1. This time they do it in set 3.
Jess Ortiz.
Wow.
96 Jordan.
Wow.
Oh my.
Like the shot. What a game from these two teams. What a game from Oak Ridge showing they're great, and what a game from St. Francis showing what a rivalry this is. Neither team giving in, neither team letting the other go on some big run. In clutch moments, Oak Ridge ultimately prevails.
What an opening game for the Trojans. What a way to start the year out.
So for them, just like what happened in the section finals, they get the win over St. Francis, and they're going to be 1-0. St. Francis is going to fall to 3-2 with 3 straight losses, or 2 straight losses, losing to Folsom in their last game, and now Oak Ridge here. The Trojans will take on Vacaville here in the Trojan Arena on Tuesday, August 29th. We will be broadcasting that game. St. Francis will be taking on Christian Brothers Saturday the 26th. And we can't say it more. What a win for the Trojans.
What a
It's
game.
Been an absolute
What a win.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Chris.
It is. It has been. Brian San Jordan doing color, Chance Miller and Joey Johnstone doing camera and the computer, running the scoreboard, all that. On behalf of our entire crew, good night, everybody.
Good night.